Hey guys, happy Sunday to all of you. This is Tiffany here. Thanks for tuning into my video. Um, Today's video is not going to be an update about myself, really. This is going to be talking about excess skin and its psychological effects. I wanted to do this video a while back, but I just kind of pushed it to the side and didn't really, I don't think I was ready to discuss it. Um, every time I do a video and I mention my excess skin, I do say a few words about it. I'm always like, hey, as annoying as it is, this is very temporary. Like, this doesn't take away from the big picture, which is the weight loss and how far I've gotten and where I plan on taking myself. However, I do feel like I want to talk about excess skin for several reasons. Um, One being it's there, and it's a daily reminder of kind of like the war you won, the struggle. Um, it's it's like a daily reminder of how far you took yourself at one point in your life, I think. And so I kind of want to talk a little bit more about that. But what really led this on was earlier in the week, I posted a picture on my Instagram showcasing my excess skin in my stomach area. I never really showed it on YouTube because I've always showed you guys my arms, but I posted a picture. Here it is. This is like ghetto, but this is the easiest way to show you guys for those who don't have Instagram. So as you can see, I'm trying to get away from it from the light. Okay, so that's my stomach as of right now, as of today. I posted that picture and there were so many wonderful comments, people that were responding with their own personal stories and their struggles regarding their excess skin, and a lot of people commending me for being brave enough to post it up on social media. I personally, I don't have a problem with things like that. That's the last thing on like my list of concerns, posting my skin. Like, who cares? But I can understand how some people can find that to be like one of the bravest things a person could do, because that's sensitive. That's showcasing your body, especially your imperfect body. It's sensitive. It's definitely like raw, so I can understand people who felt like I was, being super brave and courageous about it. And I thank all of you. To those who follow me on Instagram, thank you for, the nice words. It's definitely not something I would have done a year ago. So it has taken a lot of courage to get there, but I mainly do this so that people can see how I have been kind of coming along inside and out. It's one thing to talk about it, but for you to see it, it's then it becomes a lot more real. It's like the picture is a lot more clear for you. So like I was saying, I posted the picture and a lot of people responded positively, and I kind of expected all those comments, but there was one person in particular that wrote something that I think really put everything in perspective on how I think I felt, how I've always felt about it, the excess skin, but couldn't put it into words. She wrote, it's, you want to be proud about where you are now. However, when you look at the skin, it's only a painful reminder of what led to the weight gain. It's a painful reminder of all the bad things that contributed to your weight, to being fat, to being overweight, obese. And it was almost like a light went off. It was like ding, like that's it. That's how I feel. That's how I felt, I think. I think it's strange. It's when I look at my excess skin, I just look at it and I'm like, ugh, this is not cute. I need to get this cut off. Like, I need to have that taken away from my body. But sometimes when I do really, really look at it, I can't help but think about all of the different times I've woken up late at night to go to McDonald's, all the different times I've been made fun of, all the different times I've worn certain clothes where my stomach is just protruding, like my arms look like sack of potatoes, you know, like all the different times people have made snide remarks, um, or just all the different times I had to face reality. Like, you are almost 400 pounds. You need to do something yesterday. You know, when I look at that, when I look at my skin, or when I look at just, it's not a mess, but I'll call it a mess. Like, when you just look at it as a whole, it's like, oh, it's so messy. Um, it's sad. I think it's sad, and I'm not the kind of person that is, mentally speaking, I think I'm very strong. I am extremely strong. I'm not easily swayed. Like, I don't have depressive tendencies, or, you know, depression. I don't suffer from that, thankfully. I am not one that is ever really sad. If I'm sad, it's for something significant. I am generally a cheery, happy-go-lucky kind of person. So, I never really allowed myself to really fully submit to all the bad thoughts that I have when I look at my skin. But it's almost like when that girl posted that comment, it it all just flooded in my mind. It all came, everything kind of like fell into perspective, and it's like, it's so true. It's so true. Um, you- you're hit with a harsh reality that you royally messed up by allowing yourself to reach a certain point where it's like you can't control yourself. When I look at my skin, I think about how I allowed myself to lose so much control. I let my mouth win every single time. I let emotions dictate when and how much I ate. I could have been happy. I could have been sad. Excuse me. I'm like sick. I could have been happy. I could have been sad. It didn't matter how I was feeling. Like, I was eating in excess amount. And it allowed my skin to stretch, and it just like all these stretch marks, and like my arms, I feel like, are sagging and they're falling down to my knees. Obviously not, but um oh, this is so embarrassing. um I just can't, it's like I just can't help but think, what, why did you let yourself get that far? Because now I've reached a point where I've lost all this weight, and now it needs to be surgically removed, and I'll have these scars for the rest of my life. It'll be a reminder, almost like, because you were so fat and you didn't control yourself, you had to end up with all this. Um, like I said, I don't think like this every day. I don't ever, rarely. For me, I'm okay with scars. If it means I'm skinny, I am a-okay. I prefer skin over fat, you know? But this is generally, I think, what the average person thinks to themselves when you really get to the root of excess skin, like when you get to the root of it. Because um, I always tell people, like, I'm so thankful that I had the surgery. I was definitely prepared for the excess skin. The surgery saved my life. I sometimes am angry that I had to resort to this. I had to resort to the surgery because I was so out of control. I think it all boils down to control. Like, I had to resort to this solution, which is now leading to me having this skin just all over the place. I don't have it as bad as others. I'll be the first person to admit that. My skin is not as bad as what I've seen with other people who have lost a lot more weight than I have. Um, but my skin is my skin. It's skin is skin. I it bothers me just as much as it would bother someone with twice the amount. Um, but I think that's the psychological effect of excess skin. I think you just sit and think about how far you can allow yourself to go. I think we all aspire to have self-control in many aspects of our lives. I for one, growing up, I was always the person that was destined for greatness in my family. Like, not to say that no one else wasn't, but when everyone looked at me, they knew that I would, that I would succeed in life, or that I would be doing something worthwhile. But then it was like my weight was the elephant in the room. It was almost like you could be so much more than what you are now, or you could be so much more than what you will be if you lose weight, if you decide to take things seriously. I feel like everyone knew that I didn't have any self-control. And that's what hurts. That people can point out your flaws. People can look at you and know you have an eating problem. People, and you could be sitting next to them eating a salad and they'll know. It's like, oh, she must be trying a new diet. Oh, she must be trying to eat healthy. It's like everything about you revolved around your weight. That's how I felt. And so that's what I think of when I look at myself in the mirror and I shake my arms and it's all flabby and wiggly, and I look at my stomach and I pinch it and I can feel the skin folding. Those are the thoughts that kind of come to my mind at times where I think I am definitely thankful and proud of myself for having lost almost 140 pounds, but it's like I there's a part of me that can reach a certain point where it's like, I don't know how to put it, where you're beyond control. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but where there's a point where you can completely lose it, and I think for people who are um, not suffering, I don't want to use the word suffering, but people who have weight issues, I think that's what it is for all of us. Um, we can be like this, and then food can take us from here all the way over here. It's it's like you completely lose yourself. You're not you. And that's how I feel like I I used to jump over hoops just to eat. It's like my paychecks would go to food, like all of it. Like I would eat a different type of fast food meal throughout the course of the day. Not even the course of the month, but throughout the course of the day. And those are the things that I think about, like how I completely lost it for food. I was living to eat as opposed to eating to live. And I can really understand that statement. And so, like I said, I'm a very strong person mentally. So these things don't really stay in my mind too long because I'm living in the now. I'm not the person I used to be. I'm not that person anymore. So it's like there's no sense in harping on all the things I used to do and whatnot. But this is just what you think of. This is, like I said, it's not just about the skin, it's about just when you look at yourself in the mirror, you if you look at yourself long enough and you really reflect on the person you're looking at as opposed to the person you once were, all these things come to mind. You just think about all the mistakes you made and all the things you could have done, all the things you you should have done, and all the things you missed out on. Another psychological effect, I think, to excess skin for me is missing out on the typical things that I guess um, women go through. For example, like I've never been out on a date. Like I've never properly been asked out on a date, and it could all be because I haven't met someone good enough to be like, hey, Tiffany, would you like to go out on a date? But a part of me just feels like because I was so overweight, no one saw past that. No one cared enough to see me for who I was. And so I missed out on these little things. Like I didn't have a prom date. I didn't have a prom date. I never really had like a high school boyfriend. Like all these things, or just the things that girls or women go through, it's like I missed out on all those things, you know, and I try not to harp on that. I try not to, I'm living in the now, meaning all these experiences, I'm still gonna experience them. They're just gonna come at a later time in my life, which is better late than never, is my opinion. But I I can't help but think about these things, you know, because I'm at the age where now it's like, yeah, I want to meet somebody good, somebody that I can commit to until it's that time for me to settle down and get married and stuff. And it's like, it hurts when I think about how much I've missed out. And it may have ultimately been for the better, but all the things, all the just the things that I missed out on because my weight hindered me from living. You know, I wasn't living for a very long time. And as much as I thought I was living, I really was not living. And so these are the things that affect me when I look at myself. Um, I was in the mirror the other day. I put on a dress that was a size 14. And so, I mean, I went from a 26 to a 14. That's amazing. And I looked at myself and I was like almost in tears. I was in tears because for the first time in my life, I um, I could see myself being somebody's wife. I saw myself, excuse me. Ugh, that is so annoying. Like cough attacks. Anyway, for the first time in my life, I saw myself as I could be somebody's person. I could be somebody's somebody. I always know that I know that I'm going to be married someday. I know that. But I never pictured it. I was looking at myself in the mirror in that dress and I was like, I could be hanging on somebody's arm right here, right now, and be the most beautiful person in the room. And I felt it in every fiber of my being. It was not like, I mean, that feeling was so strong in me. And I think that's what allowed me, that's what sent me into tears because it was just, it's real. It's real. Like, this is happening. Like, I'm actually transforming into someone that I've always yearned to be, someone that I've always wanted to be. And it's like, I will no longer be judged by my weight. Like, when someone looks at me, they're going to look at me and say, wow, you know, Tiffany is a beautiful girl. I'm no longer going to be described as that tall, big girl. I'm no longer going to be described as the fat girl or the girl with the pretty face. You know, it's like, all these things kept coming to my mind, and it's, like, your weight loss doesn't just affect you physically, but mentally speaking, you gain some type of clarity that once was not there. Like, many people may not relate to what I'm saying, but I know a lot of you do. It's like, I don't care what anyone says. You may not think your weight hinders you from seeing beyond or doing more than you. It's just, it does. It does. You know, subconsciously, it does. You may think you're living life, but it does hinder you in some way, shape, or form. And so now I'm seeing I'm seeing myself for more than from one of what I was. I don't know. It's I'm seeing myself for who I can be now. And it's like, now I've always known my value. I've always known my worth, but now I really know it. I really know what I can bring to the table. And it's like, I mean, I should have felt this even when I was close to being 400 pounds, but you don't feel it. You know, you don't, it's not as strong, and it's not as strong because now I have a physical presence that I can relate to. I feel like this is me. Like, I am finally in the skin that I've always wanted to be in. I'm finally feeling it. So now I feel like I can be the person that I want to be, and like, I can finally look forward to the end result, like when I finally reach where I want to, where I want to be weight wise. Um so I feel like I kind of went off course, but what I was saying was important. I felt like, I mean, it's important. Um, my excess skin, my body as a whole, is a work in progress. I'm gonna have more skin as I continue to lose weight. And I don't have the money to get it cut off right now, so it's gonna be around for a while. Um, but I just wanted to share with you guys the thoughts. These are the thoughts that you have after you've lost a really large amount of weight. I mean, you can either look at your body and say, boom, I got 'em, yes, like I've won, which I do all the time. To me, I've won a battle that I never thought that I would be able to win. But then other times, you really sit back and reflect on your mistakes and why and how you got so bad. And I think I wanted to share this with you guys. This is what I wanted to share, and I don't think, now that I've put it out there, it's out there, it's out in the open, I've shared my feelings about it, I don't think I'll ever want to venture down that road again because it's out there. It's like, okay, now you know how you feel about this, move on. Let's focus on other things. Let's keep pushing onward and forward. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much how I feel about the mental side of weight loss, the mental side of the skin that you feel. A lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people fall into such a depressive state because of the skin. It's like they're not allowing themselves to see past it. They're not allowing to see the achievement behind the skin, the excess skin, because there is an achievement behind it. I mean, you've worked hard enough to get to the point where that skin has now become, it's no longer fat. Um, it's just skin, and so that's an achievement in itself. Um, so that's pretty much it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts, to those who've had the surgery, to those who or have lost weight, on a large amount of weight on their own and want to kind of share. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about that. Um, it was I enjoyed doing this video because I never really get sentimental. Like, I don't want to say sentimental, but I never really get down like that. And so it was nice. I feel liberated being able to share that part of myself. Um, it's this is what it's like. This is weight loss. This is like extreme weight loss stories. This is it. Once again, thank you for watching. I will definitely update you guys. My next video will be about what's going on. There isn't much. Like, my life is so dead at the moment. Um, I say this, but then I'll come up with a video and I'm like, guys, I did this, this, this. So my next video will definitely kind of give you guys an update on my progress and what's been going on in my personal life, work life, and stuff like that. So I look forward to doing that for you guys in the next few days. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Have a good one. Bye.